Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and reward. This instinct is driven by a complex network called the reward pathway. When we consume something pleasurable, like a sweet treat, the reward pathway is activated. This pathway is modulated by dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure. Sugar acts like a shortcut to this pathway. It triggers a rapid release of dopamine, flooding the brain with pleasure. This surge reinforces the desire to consume more sugar, creating a loop of craving and reward. Understanding how sugar hijacks our brain's reward system is crucial to breaking free from this cycle. Dopamine, often called the feel-good hormone, plays a central role in our relationship with sugar. When we consume sugar, dopamine is released in the brain, particularly in areas associated with reward and pleasure. This dopamine surge creates a positive feedback loop, reinforcing the behavior of consuming sugar. Our brain remembers this pleasurable experience, making us crave it again in the future. The candy bar triggers a release of dopamine in the child's brain. The child feels good, associating the chore with the reward. This mechanism can become problematic with excessive sugar intake. The constant bombardment of sugar can disrupt the balance of dopamine in the brain. Over time, the brain may become less sensitive to dopamine, requiring more sugar to achieve the same reward. This can lead to a cycle of intense cravings and potential health problems. Understanding the relationship between dopamine and sugar is crucial to making informed dietary choices. Our bodies are equipped with sophisticated mechanisms for detecting and responding to sugar. It begins with our taste buds, specifically the receptors on the tongue that identify sweet flavors. When sugar molecules bind to these receptors, a signal is sent to the brain, triggering the perception of sweetness. This initial taste response is just the beginning of the sugar processing journey. Beyond taste, our gut plays a crucial role in regulating our response to sugar. Specialized receptors in the gut detect the presence of sugar and signal the brain about fullness and satiety. These signals help regulate our food intake, preventing us from consuming excessive amounts. However, when we consume large amounts of sugar regularly, these gut receptors can become overwhelmed and less effective. This can lead to a disconnect between our actual calorie intake and our feeling of fullness, potentially contributing to overeating and weight gain. Understanding the interplay between taste receptors, gut receptors, and the brain is essential for developing a healthy relationship with sugar. Section 4. Sugar versus drugs. Similarities and differences in addiction. The comparison between sugar and addictive drugs is a topic of ongoing scientific debate. While sugar shares some similarities with drugs of abuse in how it affects the brain's reward pathways, there are crucial differences to consider. Both sugar and addictive drugs can trigger the release of dopamine in the brain, leading to feelings of pleasure and reward. This shared mechanism contributes to the addictive potential of both substances. However, the intensity and consequences of these effects differ significantly. Addictive drugs, such as cocaine or heroin, hijack the reward pathway far more potently than sugar. They trigger a much larger and faster release of dopamine, leading to intense euphoria and a higher risk of dependence and addiction. Sugar, while capable of triggering cravings and overconsumption, generally does not lead to the same severe withdrawal symptoms or life-disrupting consequences associated with drug addiction. While some individuals may exhibit signs of dependence on sugar, such as strong cravings and difficulty controlling intake, it's crucial to recognize the distinction between sugar cravings and clinical addiction. Section 5. Evolutionary perspective and dietary impact. The sweet and the balanced. From an evolutionary perspective, our attraction to sweetness makes sense. In our ancestral environment, where food was scarce and energy needs were high, sugary foods like ripe fruits provided a valuable source of calories and nutrients. Our brains evolved to seek out these sweet rewards as a survival mechanism. However, our modern food environment differs vastly from that of our ancestors. We are now surrounded by an abundance of highly processed, sugar-laden foods that are readily available and heavily marketed. This constant exposure to sugar has disrupted our natural regulatory mechanisms, leading to excessive consumption and potential health problems. A balanced diet, rich in whole foods, fiber, and essential nutrients, is crucial for maintaining stable dopamine levels. and preventing the negative consequences of excessive sugar intake. By prioritizing nutrient-dense foods and limiting added sugars, we can support our brain health and overall well-being. Understanding the evolutionary roots of our sweet tooth, coupled with mindful dietary choices, can help us navigate the modern food landscape and foster a healthier relationship with sugar. Please like and subscribe for more content.